So, I'm going to begin our Russian roulette night. I hope you're all ready to have a great time, and we will all have commentary afterwards. Who knew? So, please welcome to the stage for the big number 10.
Let's get going, Emma. She is so sexy. Let me see if I can try myself. Hey, how you doing all tonight? My name is Socrates. I am an American. Yeah, no, that's accurate. I take that as a compliment. Actually, I'm not going to be an American much longer. I actually just was approved for my Dutch citizenship. Yeah, that's the Germans applying. Yeah, it's finally nice. I've been living here for 14 years and, trying to assimilate my own way. It was like on the train here, was on the way I missed my first bus and I was hoping maybe NS will be late. And it worked out perfect. Train was late. So it made it easier for me. And on the way there was a bunch of French people talking and they were doing their little French language, which is kind of cute. I mean, I shouldn't complain because I was on my way to Boston. And I'm an American and we can't say anything, but... So I was living in Florida before I came here. Anybody been to Florida? Not that I can see a hand, because your woos are better. But I was in Orlando for about 20 years, and it's different. People imagine Florida living is somehow better. It's different. You know, we have meth and alligators. We have here meth and tourists. It's similar. You know, the difference is, of course, we see an alligator in the street. It's not the same experience as seeing a tourist in the middle of a bike lane. But, you know, the difference in so many ways is like, people imagine Florida has better weather. You know, you all think that, right? Yes. Yeah, it doesn't. It's different weather. It's not necessarily better weather. I lived there for 21 years, like I said, and we have different seasons. Like, we don't really have winter here. You know, we don't really have winter in Florida either. But the difference is, in Florida, they have a different season called fire season. If you think rain sucks, you look outside, it's burning. It's really, really bad. It makes you really wish for rain. The only time the fire season stopped was when hurricane season kicked in, which also sucks. It's like having a really drunk guy down the street coming right at you, getting angrier and bigger the whole way, he's getting closer. And it's different because, like, in America, you have Americans. Yeah, she does. We had 3 hurricanes pass directly over my house the year before Katrina. And the year after, when Katrina was coming our way, I was one of those people giving thoughts and prayers, pushing it towards Louisiana. Hey, look, we already had ours, you know. They got a nice story out of it. But after the first couple of hurricanes, everything was pretty much destroyed. And I actually walked down to the, what amounts to be an Albert Heijn, but it's called a Publix. And there was a gas station with people actually lined up. There's no gas, okay? There's no food, there's no electricity, there's hardly anything. And as I walked by the guy, he actually said to me, "Is there gas? When's the gas coming?" I don't know, man, a lot for a really long time. And I realized at that moment that this is a dangerous society to be in. You know, this is before they all had guns. So for me, living here, the weather's not deadly. I mean, sure, it rains a little bit. I mean, my favorite rain word for the Dutch is that little rain that gets in your face, you know, miser, because it makes you so miserable. The worst thing about miser is if you are on fire, miser's not going to help. You'll be burning and slightly damp. The other day, I actually got, for the first time, I got a hoodie. I never wore a hoodie before, and it was sort of an experience because it's extra cold recently, and I'm riding my bike, and I felt like I was wearing a foreskin for my head. Couldn't see anything, didn't know who I was talking to. Is that an asshole or pussy? Just some guy's mouth. I could deal with that. And I was wearing a poncho too, so it sort of felt like I had a condom on with a hole in it. Apparently they all have that. That's what my dad told me. It says it's open mic. You know, you got to play with these things if at all possible. So again, I would find that living here is sort of an interesting thing. You know, it's a different sort of a life. Going through transitions. You know, like I said, I used to be young, and then I was like that middle-aged part when you think you know everything as it's going on. You become a realist, you know. And now I'm hitting the other part because it's becoming a cynic. Because I'm 57 now. Yep, that's good. Which is 75 in Dutch. Yeah. It's a math joke if you do it. Anybody remember recently we had that period of self-reflection where we all got to sit home, you know, COVID? Gotta get in touch with yourself in a very literal and spiritual sense. Oh, we all did it. But, you know, I remember as COVID was finally ending, I thought, you know, I'll become a new Socrates, you know what I mean? I'll become a better person, and then COVID ended, and I'll become new Socrates. I'll go out back into the world. And unfortunately, I was taught this Dutch word that changed my life, and they say learning a language can't hurt. It can. I learned the word aangereden, which means to be slammed into, because I was aangereden door de scooterklootzak, and basically got my arm broken. Are you a German? Because that's a German thing to laugh at. You know, other people's misfortune. It was mine. And anyway, so instead of becoming new Socrates, I found myself as Brocates. Yeah, because I broke my arm badly. And eventually I had to have surgery about 8 months later, he was a painful existence as Brocates. I did not like that. And I had surgery. I thought, okay, this is now time for new Socrates. You know, I'll start again. I'll begin life again. And it turned necrotic. Yeah, horrible word. It means to die. My shoulder was dying. There it was, necrotes. It was not at all better. I did not like being that at all. A few months later, I had another surgery, so I have a reverse prosthetic shoulder now. And where I used to have a ball, now I have a socket. And where I had a socket, now I have a ball. And arguably, I have a trans shoulder. I don't know for sure. But anyway, a couple months after that, I figured, okay, back to the old grind. We'll try to be new Socrates. But no. I had a stroke. Yeah, I had a stroke in August. So now, Strocates. I don't know what the future's bringing, but life is definitely bringing transitions, I'll tell you that much, that's for sure. So yeah, after basically I came around the corner on my bike, I was going to go to the sauna. That was the plan. Turns out God had another plan. Yeah, I think God's plan sucks. If he was to ask me, because my plan was great. I was going to go sweat in the sauna. A bunch of naked Dutch people. But I came around the corner and there's a scooter coming the other way and he smashed into me, and I tried to explain to him that he's on a bike path, which was completely wrong, and I didn't have time, so all I could say was, ah! And I went flying through the air like a bird. But I landed like an octopus and smashed half my arms, and I had to go to the hospital, the house of paracetamol. And when I got there, you know, they took a look at my x-ray and they had this horrible reaction, which was, ugh. You never ever want that from a doctor. And they offered me a shot of morphine. I said, the paracetamol's not going to cut it. And they sent me home with this optimistic term, it comes good. Have you heard this from my therapist here? They all tell you this. My butcher said this to me. He said, yeah, it comes good. I believe him more because he knows bones. And in fact, it comes good is only useful like as a Yelp review for like a sperm donor. Yeah, 4.5 stars. So I went home and they literally told me to keep exercising because I could only raise my arm about so far. And they told me to keep pushing it up. So he told me that I had to do this. And I was in my backyard waving to my neighbors. Getting a really bad vibe from everybody. When I told this story in Enschede, they completely understood. And I think some of the people here know too. And I said to my doctor, hey doc, this is not coming good. I cannot get my arm higher than this. I have arm erectile dysfunction. And he said, well, helaas en pindakaas. Which is a useless Dutch saying. I don't know if you know it or not. It means, oh well, peanut butter. Not useful. It's not useful as a medical diagnosis either. But it rhymes. And that's the beauty of it. It does rhyme. And, you know, the Dutch love a good rhyme. I mean, my favorite rhyming sentence phrase in the Netherlands is noken in de koken. Which unfortunately means fucking in the kitchen. I was here for 3 months. And someone taught me that. An Oma taught me that. Maybe I misunderstood what she was suggesting. I'm not really sure. I do not know how to use noken and koken in context. I have asked a lot of people. No one can tell me. The only thing I've been able to figure out that's possibly true is that when you combine Halas Pindakas and noken and koken, you end up with satay sauce? Well, that's the Netherlands, man. I came here for the food, but I'm staying for the weather. Yeah, so anyway, I've been trying to, like I say, find my way through the life in general. I'm a Greek, and I get to go to Greece every now and then. I'll be going again in December, or the end of the month. And Greece is suddenly different than here. It's like a cultural thing as well, you know, where they put a lot of emphasis on food and a whole lot less emphasis on society. Because they've got good food and they don't really care about the rest of it. And it's, is that okay? And basically, like in Greece, for example, one of the differences is like you live here for long enough, you're not used to like land going, you know, up. Like they have mountains and they all go up, which is strange because you're like, I'm not used to it. And I try to explain to a Dutch person, well, what is a mountain? Well, it's like a bridge, but it's made out of rocks. And then they get a puzzled look and try, okay, a rock is like, well, you know, mud. When it gets really, really dry, it becomes like a rock. And dry is just so hard to explain here in the Netherlands. But the good thing is, when it does get dry, it doesn't catch on fire. And as a Greek, let me tell you, they have fire season now. So next time you're outside and it's raining, you're never going to complain, that's for sure. And all I can tell you is this, when I started doing comedy, they told me that it's a lot like sex. And the more I do it, the more I think that's true, because I was really excited about coming here tonight. And now that I came, I'm a little sweaty, a little tired, and a little self-conscious, but I'm hoping one day to get my energy back, and I'm going to come again real soon. Thank you all so much.